Hi guys, my name is Nonema Digela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the collapse of the breakthrough. Okay, how two witnesses shattered the state story in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. In this video, we are going deep. We go deep, deeper than mainstream news, deeper than courtroom sound bites. We follow the trial of two men. We follow the trail of two men. One, a young hostel resident beaten for a statement he never made. The other, a respected senior person whose name was dragged into a police narrative he never confirmed. Both used by the state, both later used by the defense, both blowing holes in the official story. And when they finally spoke for themselves, the state's breakthrough began to fall apart. This is why I want us to talk about this investigation the country has been waiting for, because wow. Then we were fed this myth of the breakthrough. Remember in 2020 when the accused were arrested, the 5 men that were arrested? Yes. Let's cut to Geninda on the stand for months. He said it with certainty. The breakthrough came from the hostel, from the Zungus, from the statements. That's what he said it for months. The police narrative looked clean. All 5 accused allegedly met at the Foslorus hostel. Confessions from 2 of them matched this. Okay? Constable Sizwe Zungu, a police officer, claimed he was there and saw them and he was with them. And then there were civilian confirmations from Sifiso Kwabini, according to Geninda, and then a senior person, Absalom Zungu, according to Geninda. Okay? It sounded airtight. It sounded structured. It sounded like the police had finally found the missing puzzle pieces. But there was a problem, a very big problem. None of these civilian confirmations came from the witnesses themselves in court. The state spoke about them. The police spoke for them. Statements were placed in their names, but the witnesses never appeared. The foundation of the breakthrough was never tested. And when the state closed its case without calling them, everyone was wondering, Aibo, didn't they say Gwabini was the centerpiece? Didn't they say Absalom was the centerpiece of the breakthrough? Both of them, they were, these star people that made it easy to catch the 5 men. But now they are not on the witness box for the state case. Juan, that was very questionable. Okay, we were all wondering, right? We were like, Aibo, that's so weird. Why hide your own breakthrough witnesses? Okay, we were like, yeah, but the defense took the risk. They summoned these missing witnesses. First, it was Absalom Zungu, right? Absalom Zungu came. Okay, let's start with Sifiso Kwabini first. Okay, let's talk about Sifiso Kwabini Zungu, a young man who, according to police, confirmed the presence of all 5 accused at the hostel, tying the whole state case together. But when he sat down in that witness box, everything cracked. I was assaulted several times. I signed something I never read. Haibo, isn't this the same Sifiso Zungu they said is the one that that invited everyone who was there in hostel where Constable was? And then, as if that was not enough to say I was assaulted, I signed something. And then every question, I think, day one, or let me not even say day one. On day one, I don't know up until when, I think about 50 times he said he is lying. He's telling lies, meaning Sorry, because Missy, Advocate Missy, was taking him through the statement of Zungu. One thing that was constant from his mouth, he is telling lies. Those are lies, liar, lies, liar, lies, liar, lies, liar, lies. That was the song of that moment, that first day when he came. Amanga, ukamba manga, unamanga, ukamba manga, ukuluma manga. That was the rhythm the entire time. I suppose maybe plus minus 50 times he said he was lying to Constable Zongo. We were like, what? The courtroom froze. This wasn't just a denial, it was an explosion. Then he did the unthinkable. He contradicted his own uncle, Constable Sizwe Zungu, the state star witness. What he said, it's not true. With that single line, the credibility of entire hostel story shook violently. That what he said, it's not true. It was not once, it was plus minus 50 times, guys, or even above. But the collapse wasn't done yet because there was another breakthrough pillar the state had leaned on. Absalom Zungu, father of Constable Zungu. Yabana, right now, people are calling him Advocate Absalom Zungu. Okay? Except when Absalom stepped up and he detonated the second bomb. It never made the state. I never made the statement. It is a pack of lies. Two witnesses, they are saying lies. They are saying Absalom Zungu, his focus was his son, and it was Keninda. He was just telling they are lying, both of them. And Sifiso Kwabini Zungu's focus was Constable Zungu straight. He is lying. He is telling lies. Two witnesses, two contradictions, two key pillars gone, just like that. Just like that. And then Sifiso Kwabini Zungu didn't just say he disagreed. He described violence, fear, forced compliance, and police intimidation. He said officers beat him in a graveyard, threatened him, forced him to sign, and then imagine this. A civilian, not a suspect, dragged into a high-profile murder investigation, beaten until he signs statements. That then becomes a breakthrough. If this is how a civilian witness is treated in a national case, imagine what happens off camera in ordinary cases. The things that we never hear of. What about those times when it comes to the police? And then he was busy showing the court bruises of his hand. Also this, yeah, I forgot the name. Yeah, he was showing that things that happened to him because of the beatings and how they were rolling him like a drum while they were with him overnight there by the graveyard somewhere in Vosloorus. And the judge saw the danger immediately. He invoked Section 186 of the Criminal Procedure Act. The court itself will now call the officers implicated. The judge said their evidence is essential to a decision. This is extremely rare. It means the judge believes something is very wrong. This is not routine. This is not minor. This is systematic contamination of evidence. And then there was the Absalom anomaly. Now shift to the second collapse. Let's deal with Absalom. Absalom Zungu, respected, articulated with decades, or how I think he's in his 60s, ne? Yeah, he is 67 or something. His name has been used by the state allegedly to back up elements of the hostile narrative. But when confronted, he did not fold. He didn't dodge. He flat out rejected the police version. I did not make the statement. What they say is in my name is false. He called it a pack of lies. This isn't some random man from the street. This is a senior member of a community, eMahlabathini. So what does that mean? Either the investigating officer completely misunderstood him, or someone constructed a narrative around his name without his consent. We don't know, but time will tell. Both are devastating because if one supporting statement is false, how many others? If one's narrative is twisted, what else was shaped to fit the state theory? And then uGwabini made sure the hostel story collapses. The state needed the hostel story to survive. It was glue holding together the confessions, the timeline, the alleged meeting, the motive, the identification. But now look at the damage. The confessions, they are contested as torture. Accused 1 and 2 claim they were beaten to confess. Secondly, Constable Zungu discredited by his own nephew. When your star witness is contradicted by family, it's catastrophic because it's not just family. His own father and his nephew are saying he is a liar. Thirdly, Gwabini's confirmation, dead. He said the statement was forced, so they can't now say, hey, Gwabini, and be forcing him to admit things he knows nothing about. Absalom support, dead. He said the police version is a lie. This is not a crack, this is a structural collapse. It's collapsing everything on the floor. On the floor, boom, boom, on the floor, boom, boom. The entire investigative spine, the hostel is now bent to a breaking point. If you remove the hostel, you remove the state theory. If you remove the theory, what remains? Let's check at Judge Ratamokwatleng's reaction. The judge response tells the story, shock at the police behavior described, concern at the state's failure to call crucial witnesses, orders to subpoena assault accused officers, postponement to 2026 because the fallout is so severe. He didn't hide it, he didn't sugarcoat it, he effectively signaled, this is not normal, this is not acceptable, this is now a question of justice itself. But we are still going to see, where is he going with this? Where is he going with this? And we have a bigger picture, what this says about the South African justice system. This isn't just about Gwabini and Absalom. This raises a national question. National questions. One, investigative ethics. If breakthrough witnesses are beaten or misquoted, how many cases collapse silently? Two, police accountability. Why are officers only called when a judge forces the issue? Why is Zungu not called to come and answer? Three, prosecution strategy. Why did the state hide these witnesses? Why rely on untested statements? Because Gininda kept on referring on these two witnesses. For public trust, in contrary, where trust in police is already low, the trial is now a symbol of everything wrong. Five, the legacy of Senzo Meyiwa, a national hero, a failed investigation, a decade of confusion. And now the very witnesses meant to strengthen the state case are the ones pulling the roof down. And the twist that happened at a later stage, the security threats and silencing. When Gwabini appeared, something chilling happened. People escorting him were arrested. Cars followed. Police talked about conspiracy to commit murder. The courtroom became a pressure cooker. One thing became obvious. Some people did not want him to speak. And now that he has spoken, the consequences ripple across this trial, the police and the country. They were meant to confirm the story. Instead, they exposed it. Gwabini saying he was assaulted, Absalom saying the statement is a lie, the judge ordering police to be called, Gininda staring in silence. in the end, the truth didn't collapse the breakthrough. The breakthrough collapsed under the truth. That is what happened here. Please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end, and I will see you on our next video. Stick around and make sure you are not going anywhere, because I'm going to be bringing on them videos and telling you about the Senzo Meyiwa case. Bye-bye.